All right. Hey, puzzle publishers, happy Sunday evening. I know it's late. We're going to do an audio check here. Let's see what we got going on. Do you? Okay. Kieran's here working with me. You can tell I'm really rusty at these. Just wait. Wait till the picture changes. There it is. All right. Looks like everything's good. All right, let's go ahead and get going. I think we're good on this. Again, Karen's here with me and manning the comments. So let's get some things going here. Let's jump right into this. So we are announcing the new SMC, Simply Maze Crazy 2.0 tonight. I said we'd deliver on Sunday night, and we are right before midnight, and we're delivering. So there is not training for this in the members area. So I need to do that this week. We might make one or two more interface changes. I haven't quite decided yet. So from your members area, you remember your software dashboard, go right into Simply Maze Crazy. We've not named it anything crazy. Okay, you still have your old legacy version here, but this is the new version 2.0. Go right on in here. All right, we have a ton of new features in this, including the ability for shapes. So let's do a quick roll down of the interface. When you first launch it, you will see it comes up. There's a nice maze that it renders here. You'll see two little flags. Those are the solution flags. And over to the left, you're going to have a series of new controls. And if you notice, we've moved to the standard interfaces that you're used to in the rest of our programs. The gray boxes, the standard web-based controls, buttons, sliders, etc. Up top, right off the bat, you're going to notice there's a template section. I'm going to take you through each one of these one step at a time, but let's just do a quick overview right now. The next, you're going to have the maze for the maze itself with your complexity slider that you're used to. There's a couple other options we'll talk about shortly. You have a new one called Maze Graphics, which is really super powerful for what you're going to be doing. Underneath that, you're going to have Show, and that will, the little check boxes will determine what you're actually viewing here. And then you'll have Download PNG and Start Over. So in case things get a little too crazy, you can always just start over. So right off the bat, you're going to notice that you get a rendered maze. It comes up, it's a square. Nothing special, the kind of mazes you're already used to. So let's do something real quick. And let me show you, I've talked about these solution flags now. What they are is they're draggable solution flags. You can now determine any 2 points in the maze to solve, and if it is capable of being solved, the program will do it. So what I can do is I'm going to just leave the maze that has already came up, and I'm going to drag flag number 1 over here, and I'm going to drag flag number 2 to the bottom corner, and you will see that the program can solve it. Now I can move these anywhere I want. So you can determine your own starts and finishes for depending on what you're doing. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here to the Start Over button. If you want, you can drag these flags back out to remove the solution. or I can just simply hit the Start Over button. Okay, so let's start right at the top. So at the top is the template area. We provide you with a couple templates to start out with. The first is None, which is a square, but there's really no templating involved. The next is a circle. The next is a triangle. And then finally you'll have a custom, which we will talk about after. So you get a circle, a square, a triangle, and a custom. Okay, and if you select custom with nothing loaded, it'll just be a blank area. So let's just do something fun, and we'll start with a circle. Now, if you noticed, there's a circle, but there's a maze behind there. Okay, what that is that's the previous maze. So you can actually take and put the circle template on there, and then you can zoom it up and down for whatever size circle you want. You could also rotate the circle, but because it's a circle, if you rotated it, you really wouldn't notice anything. So I'm not going to do the rotation. I'm just going to take the circle back down to a 1.0. So this is the circle as you would load it in. Now let's go to maze. Maze complexity, we're doing something different this time. With the old version of SMC and even the intermittent versions you had, your maze size was actually based on your complexity. We have changed that now, so that is not the case. Complexity actually is almost a size that you can go down to or come up on. So what you do is you choose the size that you want for complexity, and then you hit Render Maze. Now, because it's a new maze, it tries to render it inside the circle or the template you provided. In this case, it is the circle. Okay, there are some other things here, and we'll talk about them in a minute. Let's keep trying the complexity. So I can zoom it up and re-render the maze, and it puts it inside of here. Could even make it bigger. Render the maze. I know, which isn't a whole lot of fun. But you know, whatever case you might be using this for, if you wanted to zoom it up more. Render the maze. Or I can change the complexity and render the maze. Change the complexity and render the maze. Also in here, you're going to see a button or a checkbox called Draw Outline. Hang on one sec, let me... Oh, there's actually... Hang on one sec, let me drop back here for a sec. Oh no. Pardon me 1 second. There it is. So you're getting comments through.
I wasn't seeing them. Yeah.
I know, but they weren't showing over there. Hi Karen, how are you tonight? So let's go back to these boxes. Sorry, I was helping Karen. I'm noticing we're trying to run several different things with our live. Let's do the easy one. The easy one being edit. We've incorporated an edit feature like we had in our SMC, which was the newer version, but not the legacy version, but the newer version. If you check the edit box, you can now edit the maze. Left mouse button allows you to add walls. Right mouse button allows you to delete them. And see, you can see I can click, and you can also hold it down to draw. Remember that once you start editing the maze, it might affect the path through. All mazes, when they render, should be solvable, but see, I chunked it a little bit. So let me go back to edit, and let me cut a path through. So be careful when you edit. You might affect the maze in some way that you didn't expect. The other one is called Draw Outline. And what we do is, with our new shape feature, the program attempts to draw an outline around whatever shape you're doing. So Draw Outline is on by default. Okay? Here's where it gets a little sticky to explain this. Maybe, you know what, maybe we'll come back to this in a minute. Let's move down to the next group of features called Maze Graphics. The Maze Graphics are something that allow you to control what is actually rendered for the graphics on the screen. So in this case, you're going to see there's 4 different blocks for each thing: the wall image, the path image, and the solution image. So the first of the 4 blocks is nothing. It's a transparent block. The next block is white. The next block is red. The next block, it shows, we use these, they're kind of fun. It's a brick. The one underneath it is just a little pattern. Okay? But these are actually your customizable blocks. We actually allow you to load graphics into these for your maze. So let's start with this. The wall image in this case, when we first render, is transparent. And you're going to ask, well, Rob, if the wall is transparent, why is the image black and white? The reason being is because your built-in templates are black. The circle, the square, and the triangle are all black. So if I was to choose the wall image as black, you'll notice that it didn't change except for the outer edge, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So transparent means the wall's transparent. I could also choose the wall as white, but because the path image is white, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I could also choose it to be a block, or I can change that image by loading it. So now you're going to ask me, well, Rob, why is it lumpy around the edges? Well, it's all got to do with this thing called the Draw Outline. Remember I told you that by having that selected, we try to draw an outline around the image for whatever shape you're using. So the best way to do this is, let me leave it as a block, as the bricks. And I'm going to deselect Draw Outline. And now I'm going to render the maze. Did you notice how it kind of removes the blocks that stick outside the circle? But what it does do is, it lets the maze bleed through. If you notice, there is not blocks around where the path is, your path being white. This in particular is, we do this because we try to give you as many options as we can for whatever shapes you're using or whatever you're going to be using this program for in the future. It allows for a lot of flexibility. But initially, I'm going to leave Draw Outline on and render it. If you notice, it drew that outline, which bleeds outside the template. Okay? But what it does do is it makes sure that the maze itself the white path has a complete border around it, which you might need if you want to be able to make sure that you can bring it in here and solve it. So I'm going to choose here, and then I'll choose here, and then I'm going to solve. Okay. Let me move these back over. Now, initially what you've seen was a nice smooth ball when I first rendered it. By making the wall image transparent, okay, and the path still white, you get this nice smooth thing because your blocks are actually transparent. But the wall itself, it still exists, but it's just transparent. You don't see it, and what you're seeing is the template bleeding through. You're going to see this when I go to load a different template in that actually has a texture to it. Now, what you can also do is you could move and say, okay, the path is black. Well, why can't I see the path? Because the template itself is black. But if I move and make the path itself this little texture one, now you can see the path is textured. Okay, now I'm going to put the solution flags in here. If you notice, we also have the solution image, and we also allow you to load a solution image. Now I'm going to load a solution image for you. And you can pick, as long as it's a PNG, just any kind of image. If you noticed, it put that little thumb image in there, and you can see it. And then if I move it, the little thumb image moves. So this gives you flexibility to load whatever you would like the wall, the path, and the solution image to be. Okay. Now, say for example, you like this maze and you want to download it, and it has this stuff on here. Down here in the show box, we allow you to turn different parts of this off. So you can actually turn off the solution. I guess I'll just turn it off and leave it off. You can turn off start and finish, which is the flags. If you don't like the flags, you can turn them off. So you can have the solution show, and maybe you wanted to put your own little start and finish, maybe arrows or graphics or whatever you're doing instead of the flags. You can turn the maze off, okay, and just show a solution path. You can turn the template off. So this gives you just a load of flexibility. If you want to have just the maze itself, you can do that. You can do that. And whatever you choose, okay, so say for example, I wanted this. I love this maze. This is what I want to download. Whatever you choose in the show, you simply hit download. And I will, let's make a folder for these. And let's just call it mazes. And I'm going to save these little guys in here. So now I'm going to show in folder, and then I'm going to go ahead and open with paint. And there's your really cool maze that we've done. One thing about the new SMC also is that we've expanded the canvas size to make it a lot bigger to handle the graphics. So I hope you enjoy the new canvas sizes. Alright, so let's do some more shapes because we can really talk about this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe everything by hitting the start over. And now I'm going to jump right to, oh, you know what? I should show you this real quick. So let's do, just real quick, let's do a square. And I can zoom it in and out, right? But I can also rotate it. And then I can render the maze. So you can see you can do some real cool stuff. You get a little, I see there's a little bleed through. What you can do is if you turn the, oh no, hold on. Oh no, I found a bug. Hold on, what did I do? I think I just broke it. That's kind of cool. Render maze. Oh, there it is. Nope, I got it. Oh, look, it's all lumpy. I think I broke it. I think it's grabbing the wrong polygon. Let's try something else. Let's try a different shape. Let's try triangle. Oh, let me start over. Let's do triangle. Render maze. Let me try rotating it and see if it still does that. Oh, I'll be darned. I think there's a bug in the rotation. That's the fun thing about new software. Alright, so let's start over. Don't play with rotation just yet. Alright, let's load a template in. That'll be fun. So say for example, if you've seen I was doing these fun things with states. In this case, this is Arkansas. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to take Arkansas and I loaded it in. I'm going to zoom Arkansas up. And I'm going to render a maze inside of Arkansas. There we go. Now, what I want to do is, I want to increase the complexity of the maze inside of Arkansas. So I'm going to move the complexity. And then I'm going to re-render the maze. If I want to go ahead and put solution flags on here, I can do that. Let me change my something cool that you can see really well. And again, you could do the walls, or you could even load things in for the walls. I didn't play with that. And I could load these in for the paths, whatever I wanted here. Let's see if we got something fun. The idea virus. I load that. Oh, I gotta show the path. Hold on. There it is. What's cool is you can actually see these graphics. If I zingity pow the complexity, this is really cool. And then I re-render the maze inside of there. If I turn the wall image off, you can really see it. That's my path graphic. And then I could make the solution inside of here. So there's lots and lots of options you can do with this. Let me show you, there was also the thing. Let's start over. Boop. Okay. If you've seen, one of the things I did was, so that template, the Arkansas template, was a black. You can use color pictures. In this case, the fish. He's always my favorite to bring in. I'm going to make him, I can only go right there. Okay, and then what I can do is, if you notice, when we put a template in, it doesn't destroy the maze that you had behind it. You have to re-render the maze, and what it does is it tries to put the maze again in this nice colored template. What you can do is increase the complexity, re-render it, And now I got this really cool little fish maze. Now, one of the things you're going to notice is that the walls are the fish itself. And the reason why is because I'm using this wall image as a transparent and the path image is white. Now that's why we give you this flexibility. So say for example, if you wanted the path image to be transparent and maybe the walls to be black, you could do that too. He's blocky, don't forget, because we try to draw the border around. You could turn that off and re-render the maze. This gives it more of a weird pattern because your path image is transparent. So say for example I was to make the path white. This is the purpose in this too. If I made the wall image clear, I could make the path black. I could also apply my graphics in here. So you get tons and tons of options. You could even do this. I'm going to draw the outline. That makes the fish completely disappear and gives me this rendered thing. And then if I wanted to, this is how weird this could all get. Is I could even make the solution little fishes. So you just have tons and tons of options. You can edit. I just check the edit box. And remember, left mouse button draws walls. Right mouse button deletes. If you noticed, while I was editing, the solution went away. The reason it did that is because I actually blocked the path from one side of the fish to the other. Now, if I have the capability, I can sit here and trace it out myself and say, okay, where would I like this path to go? Boom. And I can open it back up. So you have lots of choices. I could break it again. I could come through here. Boom, and I could open it up again and it auto solves for you. And then at any time you can turn different parts on and off. Remember, like we've already talked about, to show till you get down to nothing. How we doing? Any questions?
No.
Okay. I'm going to do the start over. So let's do this again. I think we've covered majority of the options. Like I said, I will be doing some tutorials over this. It looks like this rotate has a bug in it that slipped through testing. So stay away from rotation for right now. I'm kind of curious about something. I'm going to bring the fish in. Get rid of the maze. I want to zoom him up. And I want to rotate him and see what it does. Yeah. How about I change complexity? Let me make the wall black. Yeah, I don't touch rotate. So it seems that the rotate is broke for right now. We'll get that bug fixed though. So don't fool with rotate. I'm going to do a start over. And I'm going to completely start over. I am actually going to refresh the page.
Exciting news, Edmar. We'll catch up on this later,
But zoom is fine. So this is kind of interesting because, like we talked about, in the old SMC, the complexity of the maze did basically the size of the maze. So what you can do now is, because of our new system between zoom and complexity, you can actually render these larger size mazes by just zooming it up, reducing the complexity, render the maze. All you got to do is click on the show and it'll bring the outline box to it. So zoom is fun. You see I use it all the time. I like to load templates in. Here's a fun one I also did. Let's see if this one works. I think he does. Bigfoot's fun. There he is. It's because I need my wall image to be transparent. So let me zoom him up. Oh, you little son of a gun. I don't think this one will render. Let me go find another Bigfoot. Remember how we do this. If you find that an image, that's a good point. Let me take something that probably won't render correctly. Let's see what this does. Oh, it does. This does. Remember that you need an image with a transparency around it. So what I'm looking for is something that is just make the path black. Yeah, these aren't very exciting. Let me see if I got a Sasquatch here. No, I don't. Also, make sure your images are big enough. I'm going to go find that Sasquatch again. Oh, I know what I forgot to show you. See, the reason it's rendered over top is because the kitty here does not have a transparency around him. One of the things I forgot to mention, you do have the capability of doing also, let me get rid of the maze. Let me do this, is if you have, let's do Arkansas, again, because it's a great example. You can actually drag the template around. And wherever you're at, it will render the maze. And we did this because maybe you only want to do a certain part or something. Now we only do one part images. So say for example, we had Arkansas and another state on here. We grab the first state or part of the image that you have. So keep that in mind when you're loading images in, and I can give you an example of that. So this is a Broke, Michigan. If you notice, Michigan is broke here, so when you go to render the maze, it will only try to render in the upper part of Michigan. Because we grab the first image that comes along. I don't think I can connect them. I would have to go into a paint program and connect them. Yeah, I can't do that. So we only grab the first image that comes along. So say for example, so I have a good Michigan here. Michigan. Let me get that out of the way and let me zoom up. Now, in this case, this Michigan was really tiny. Path this. Okay, I can change the complexity. And you see how the maze can actually bridge in Michigan here. So keep that in mind when your mazes, if it's too big, it's not going to bridge because it doesn't fit through this little bridge of Michigan. So you can do it like that. Let's see what other parts I wanted to show you really quick. Oh, I can't believe I don't have puzzle publishers. Let's see if Bigfoot will work. Hey, he does. So this is fun. This is my little Bigfoot, and I can make him like this. I could make the path itself the Bigfoot. I can make the path white and make the walls Bigfoot. So you got lots of different options. There's lots of things that you're going to be able to experiment and play with. And I hope you really enjoy this. Let me pop back over. And so that's the new SMC 2.0. And like I said, don't play with rotate just yet. I see that's a little bug that's going to need to be tweaked. Have fun with this. Get up there, and I'd love to see what you're doing in the group. Go ahead and post it, and we'd love to see your cool shaped mazes. Have fun on this wonderful Sunday, which is now Monday, and we will talk to you soon. Take care.